Well, g'day everyone. Welcome to Canterbury Gardens Community Church podcast. My name is Shebu. I have the joy of serving as one of the pastors here at Canterbury, a church in the outer east of Melbourne. Our hope and prayer is to be a church that wants to know and love Jesus and to live for Jesus in this world. And this podcast is really to serve those who call Canterbury home. But if it's going out further, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We pray that it'll serve you well. Now, today, I'm really privileged to sit across the table with a good friend and someone who's been calling Canterbury home for a little while now with his dear wife, Bree. Shout out to Bree. Jason, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me today. And it's just going to be good to talk.
Yeah. Look, so Jason, how long have you guys been coming to Canterbury, mate?
We came pre-COVID, so it was October 2019. So.
Okay, October 2019, yep.
Then we had the lockdowns, which was an interesting time for the church and to connect with people. But we got involved in a connect group and, so we were able to build friendships and networks and relationships with people, which was great.
Yep. So, mate, I'm listening to your voice. There's a nice little twang to it. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, so my name's Jason Fitzgerald. I'm 50 years old, turned half a century this year.
Still young.
Yeah. Last year, November.
Yep.
Originally from New Zealand, so the accent sometimes comes and goes. Listened to a lot of Aussies and Aussie radio and comedians and music over the years, so I picked up a bit of a twang sometimes.
Who was a favourite Aussie comedian?
I used to love the old comedy company with old Uncle Arthur. Hello, kiddies, it's your old Uncle Arthur. Yeah, I used to do little impressions of him and that. So
okay.
I've always been a bit of a class clown, and I like to make people laugh and that, and
sure.
I believe that bringing joy and humor into the world is an important thing. It's such a serious world that we live in. I love to make people laugh, and my auntie described me as sunshine. She said when you enter a room, you bring sunshine, which is really cool. So I'm happy about that.
You still do, man.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely true. It is so you said you mentioned auntie, so tell me a little bit about your family. Did you grow up in a faith-filled home?
So I was born out of wedlock. My mum went to a party when she was younger and was with a guy, and she fell pregnant, and I was born in 1974, and my biological father, he didn't want anything to do with me. He actually wanted mum to have an abortion, but mum's family stuck by her and said no, we're keeping him, and I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad in the decision that my family and my mum made. But my mum then started dating the boy next door, who's my adopted dad, and to me he's my real father. He's my he's the one that raised me and brought me up, and he was only 18 years old when he decided to take on a 1-year-old child, and I was like, that is amazing. And Dad's not a Christian, but he was brought up in a Catholic family, and it's just amazing that somebody at that age would do that. And obviously God, I believe God had instilled in my dad values and principles and life, pro-life decisions. And he said to my mum only told me a couple of months ago that when Dad found out that I was pregnant, that she was pregnant, that he said, that baby's mine. I don't care what people say.
Oh wow!
So that's amazing. So I'm all for adoption, and I'm all for families, being created and blended and made what you want them to be. And so I grew up very close-knit, two families that just loved me and built into me, and lots of hugs, cuddles, lots of faith. Always went to Sunday school and church when I was younger.
Yeah.
I became a Christian when I was 7 years old on the top bunk of my bed, gave my life to the Lord, and it's a journey, a process. We're always working on ourselves, and but I officially made that decision when I was 7 years old, and I got baptized when I was 10, and I remember people saying, "Oh, he's too young, he doesn't know what he's doing." But it's like, no, I knew what I was doing back then, and I believe the foundations were built.
Yes.
In my life back then, and just loved the Word, loved Bible stories, and loved all the crazy songs we had growing up in the
What's a crazy
in the
song?
80s and 90s. Oh, bullfrogs and butterflies and Salty, the singing songbook. I'm like, if any non-Christian heard or read that stuff, they'd be like, what the heck is this? This is crazy. Yeah, Christians have done some crazy stuff over the years. But hey, it was fun as a kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was mum and dad split up when I was about 4 years old, and then they got back together again when I was about 6 or 7. And I had twin brothers born 8 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we lived with dad for a while, and then when I was about 10, mum and dad split up again. And we moved. We originally lived in Wellington, which is the bottom of the North Island. Beautiful city, lots of cafes and arts. It's very similar to Melbourne. Yeah, just very windy. Mind you, Melbourne's very windy as well. So
yes. Particularly today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So grew up there. It was an amazing place to grow up. Great family always around and just loving on me. And I remember, when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, there was these 2 little old ladies that would come pick me up for Sunday school, in their little red mini.
Wow.
They made an effort to, build into me and spend time with me. And, those are the champions in your life, the people that, that you do remember because of the sacrifices that they made. So they took me to Sunday school, and then you'd go to church after. Sunday school was always before church, and then you had sat in the service on a Sunday.
Interesting.
It was Baptist church. Grew up Baptist, and then we moved to Te Awamutu, which is in the middle of the North Island, just below Hamilton, in the North Island. We moved there because friends of ours that lived in Wellington had moved up there, and we came up for a holiday and loved the church up there. It was a Pentecostal church. They were very grounded, and we just loved the family atmosphere there. It was a very close-knit, smallish church. Everyone, we called everyone auntie and uncle, and it was just real respect for all your elders, and just loved being a part of it. It was great. So we came up for a holiday, and mum really loved it, and we did too. And when I was about 13, just before I started high school, we moved up to Te Awamutu from Wellington. So we packed everything up, and there was a hard time. My dad, he would come up and see us every holidays. He'd drive all the way from Wellington to Te Awamutu, which was about a 6-7 hour drive. He'd come and see us or pick us up and take us back to Wellington for the holidays. So we'd stay there for 2 weeks with family. I was really close to my nana and granddad and cousins. So we all grew up together. Had an amazing relationship with them. We moved to Te Awamutu when I was 13 and was part of the church there for about 17 years.
Okay. And were you quite involved in the church?
Yeah. We did. I started playing trumpet.
Okay. Was that your first instrument?
Yeah, first instrument when I was in high school. I was in jazz band, and
oh, cool.
Trumpet's an instrument that you can't really hide behind. It's like it's all or nothing. That's probably me to a T. Okay. It's all or nothing. It was good. And then I started singing. I've always sung, and always did sort of musicals and shows and stuff when I was growing up, and just loved being the center of attention. And I don't know if that come from a deficit in my own life of just wanting acceptance and stuff, but hey, it paid off and it worked and people loved it. The fact that I just started singing and just started serving in the church as part of the worship team.
Okay.
And so we'd do worship Sunday morning, Sunday night. We had youth as well.
Oh, wow.
And then we had some really top musicians, like just really talented people in our church, like families that were great on instruments, and we started a youth band.
Oh, okay.
And,
what was it called?
It was called New Life Rock.
Oh, nice.
Because our church was called New Life.
Okay.
And we called it New Life Rock. It was like
good 90s name.
Yeah, good 90s name. It was a bit cheesy. I had friends in Auckland that would tease us about our name. Oh, New Life Croc. And it's like oh yeah. But I was in doing music. We used to do a lot of youth conferences, and we used to do youth church and just outreaches in our town.
Wow.
We saw some amazing fruit come out of that, like people just coming to the Lord and kids just giving their lives to Jesus. And and then I started doing music, and I always did Bible studies as well. Like I had when I was about 16, I had a bunch of young guys.
Okay.
Like third form, so they're like 13-year-olds that would build into, and I had a bunch of young guys that would do a Bible study each Wednesday night. So there was always our foundation. Everyone loved coming to that, and then we'd have youth church or just a fun social event in the weekends. And then my old youth pastors, Paul and Mary Thompson, they left in probably the early 2000s. No, sorry, not early 2000s, in my early 20s. And then another guy took over the youth group, and then he was only there for about a year or so.
Okay.
And then my old pastor Gary said, would you like to take over the youth? And
okay.
so I started, youth ministry when I was about, I suppose I've always been in youth ministry, but then just became the youth pastor at the church.
Yep.
When I was about 22, 23, and did that for about 7 years.
Okay.
So we saw some amazing fruit with the young people, and I used to just love coming to learn the word, and that was great. All the social events, hardly anyone, people wouldn't turn up to because they didn't enjoy them as much. But Wednesday nights were pumping; they were great.
Okay.
Also had later on down the track, I started a little breakdancing group and had all these little Māori kids from town.
Did the breakdancing group have a name?
No, they didn't really have a name.
Okay.
They just came. We rolled out this piece of line off the floor.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Chucked on some sounds and beats, and they just bust some moves, and it was great.
Did you bust a move as well?
Oh yeah, I've got the famous pork roll. I'll whip that out one day. I stole that off a guy from Tamaranui. Yeah. But it was great. We saw some great things for a church our size and the size of our town. We were doing some great things that probably shouldn't have been happening, and that's something the size of our town. It was all the cities were doing all the big stuff.
Yep. You've seen God at work, and
and just see some amazing fruit. And I was never paid by the church. I just did it voluntary. But that was back in the day. You just did it. You just did it. Yeah, you lived and breathed church. You had prayer meetings. You had music practice. You had youth group. You had church services twice on a Sunday. But you loved it. It was great. It was just kept you out of trouble and everything. So I suppose it's been a long journey.
Yeah. Did you? So you were obviously involved in ministry. At what point did you meet Bree? Tell us a bit about Bree.
Yeah, so Bree met up in Brisbane. Sorry, I was just about to say Sydney. Brisbane. We actually met online, which was interesting back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
It was like, wait, what's all going on here? And I introduced her. She was searching, like she had a faith, but introduced her to my old youth pastors, Paul and Mary. They planted a church in Brisbane. Movement. And she was in Brisbane. I was talking to her, and we just started talking about the things of God, and she was really searching, and got her involved in their church, told her to go along, and then I went over for a holiday over Easter time and met up with her, and we just started a friendship, and then she decided she'd come over for a holiday to New Zealand.
Okay.
And progressed from there, and then
cool.
She went back to Aussie for about a month or two, and then came back to live, gave up everything she had in Brisbane to come and live with this little country in this little country town.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, lived with some friends. Doug and Jan, they were like mum and dad to her, and she just started serving in the church with us, and and then we got married. Yeah, year and a half later. Got engaged on Valentine's Day. That was good because it was nice and easy to remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say.
I hired a plane. A mate of mine had his pilot's license, and we hired this little plane, and we flew out to the coast.
You're definitely all in, man.
Yeah, it's all in. Yeah, okay. And I made my mother, who she's probably I can't remember how old she was back then, but I made her carry like 6 double bed sheets sewn together with this big sign, we painted on it, "Will you marry me, Bree?" Over these giant sand dunes out to Carthia, which is on the west coast. And she did it, which was amazing, and laid it all out on the beach. So we flew across and looked out, and Bree burst into tears.
Oh, wow.
Had the ring in my hand. I was like, I better not drop this while we're in the plane. And she said yes, and we got married in October 2003. So
okay. I'm glad she said yes. That would have been awkward.
I'm glad she said yes. And look,
how long you guys been married? Sorry,
it's
maybe I'm
22 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Praise God.
22 years this year. From meets online nowadays, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but it was different times.
Different times.
Different times. But I know, we started our relationship on a good note. We were friends, and just grew from there. And Yeah. And that was hard. That was a tough time. And we left my old church that I was part of for so many years and we moved to Hamilton, which was about 30 minutes north of Te Awamutu.
Yeah.
And joined a Pentecostal church there, which doesn't, a good friend of mine, he was a good friend at the time. He was a senior pastor and he inherited the church from his dad. And they got into some weird stuff. And we challenged it and we sort of got asked to leave. Said, you're not on board with the vision of the church. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we were there for a few years living in Hamilton.
There's a lot of change then. And then, so when did you guys come across to Australia? Like
so 2010 we came over. Bree's mum, her husband was diagnosed with brain cancer and we wanted to come over and support her. Bree could see her mum was really struggling and wanted support, and we packed up everything and rented our house out in New Zealand and came and lived over here and rented over here, and I got a job straight away, which was great, working in mental health. And just everything sort of fell into place. And love Melbourne. It's a great city. Love the sport, the food, music, everything. It's great. And
you mentioned food.
Yeah.
What's your go-to food? Like if you're ready to...
Oh, look, you can't beat a home cooked roast.
Okay.
my nana made the best roast. My dad makes a good roast too.
Okay.
He learned off my nana.
Yeah.
But Nana's was like the best of the best.
Yeah.
Just the gravy and the meat and the potatoes, just amazing.
Making me hungry.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting, because I married Bree and she's very, she's an amazing cook in that. And like, I think that's why I married her. But I was,
we can edit that out.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But I was brought up meeting 3 veg, just bland meals. Sorry, Mum. But she did the best she could. And look, and shout out to my mum. My mum, raised 3 boys by herself. Hats off to solo mums out there that know the hard work it is. And I was a model child. It was amazing. No.
Your mum's not here.
Your mum's not here. But I did the best I could, and like I suppose growing up with family all around me, nanas, granddads, aunties, uncles, I always just learned to respect your elders, and I always wanted to make my grandparents proud and my dad proud and my mum proud, and and that came at a cost sometimes. You do things that you didn't want to do. Like I wasn't, I'm not the greatest at sport. I got a lazy eye.
Okay.
So when someone chucks a ball at me, it probably hits me in the head. So my coordination wasn't the greatest. But I remember growing up, I tried everything just to I wanted to impress my dad. I played soccer, played cricket. What else did I do? Badminton.
Badminton.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was good because you didn't have to do much running.
Sure.
But rugby and all sorts. But I was more into music and sport, music and arts and stuff. Yeah. And I remember I invited my dad to a show once. It was a pantomime, and I was like 11 years old, and they dressed me up in a wedding dress, because pantomimes, they had role reversals. And I remember my dad saying, "Do not ever invite me to anything like that ever again." I was like, okay, cool.
Interesting thing for him.
Yeah, he would have been so proud of his son dressing up in a wedding dress.
Just kind of tell back a little bit. You mentioned you've come here. You've settled here to support Bree's mum in the journey.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're
that's
fine.
My ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD kicking in.
Okay, that's all good. But I do want to ask you though.
Yes.
The other day I visited you and you had a book about burgers. What's the deal there?
Look, I love a good burger. I worked at McDonald's in Te Awamutu while I was doing youth ministry in that, and it was interesting because I was like, it allowed me, like, we had the best bosses there, and they treated all the staff like family. It was great, and our staff retention was phenomenal. This was back in the day when we took pride in burgers and food, and it's like they called me Sergeant Salad because like, there's not enough lettuce on that Big Mac. Put some more on.
Okay.
And we tried to make them look like the pictures as much as you possibly could.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was instilled in me about, but I do love a good burger.
Yeah.
I love good quality food.
Is there a favorite burger, like type of burger?
Yeah, I do. I like a smash patty. Like the thin patty, crispy, and but then also I do like a nice thick, hearty, beefy burger sometimes as well. But I'm all about quality over quantity. I'd rather
Okay.
have something that you bite into and tastes amazing,
Yeah.
rather than something that's humongous and makes you feel sick afterwards. So yeah, I always have a rule with a burger. If you burn me once with a burger, I'll never go back to you. So
Oh.
you get one chance to
Watch
get
out.
it right with me.
Watch out, any sponsors who are burger
Yeah.
places. We've got a review person right here for you.
So we went to America probably about 7 years ago, and just went across the East Coast, and that it was great trying out all the different burger joints and bits and pieces. We didn't go just for burgers, but
to hang out.
It's like it's America.
Yeah,
You've got to have good burgers.
So it's going from burgers. I'm jumping around a little bit too.
No, you're all good.
Apologies. So you and Bree are settling in here in Melbourne, in Australia. Obviously the journey that your mother-in-law had and so on. You've been working was it in social work? Yeah,
so mental health. I got a diploma in mental health and did studies in New Zealand, especially under Māori model, which is Te Whare Tapawha, which is house of four walls. So 4 walls of a house. So and it's your mind, your body, your spirit, and your whānau, your community, your family.
Okay.
So if you get those 4 pillars right in your life, everything should be ticking along. Okay. So everything's interconnected. Your mind, body, spirit, and your community is all interconnected. And if something's out of whack, it'll cause something else to get out of whack as well. So we have a holistic approach. So I worked for a big organisation, big not-for-profit out in the Outer East for how long was it? 2019. So 9 years.
Because that's when I met you guys.
Yep.
I think, and then you moved towards.
Some stuff went down at work, and it was toxic. It wasn't a nice place to work, and if there's anyone listening that has a big organisation out there, make sure you keep your culture right and look after your staff and don't change your values. And a lot of these big organisations now, it's all about KPIs and targets, and you've got to hit all this, and they want their pound of flesh from you, and they want you to say yes to everything. And as soon as you start saying no, they start pushing you back and pushing you out. I was with this place for probably 9-10 years. And, it started off as a great organisation. It was awesome. But then, as it progressed and got bigger. But then, with the NDIS coming along, all the funding for mental health basically got sucked out of the state government's coffers, and they basically threw it all into the NDIS. And so all mental health funding went into the NDIS. So it was a tough time leaving my organisation. And, you walked with me through that, and John did as well. And even my own mental health struggled as well, because I was doubting myself and I was having panic attacks and stuff. It was interesting. I was just like, you're usually pretty resilient and strong, and you're like, it's not me. That's not going to happen to me, but it can happen to anyone and everyone. We were able to, Bree was able to walk alongside me and encourage me to start my own business. And I was like, oh no, I'll just go and work for someone else and just do our own thing. To do our own thing is amazing. We were able to set up a business, Pakari, Pakari, which means resilience or strength in Māori from New Zealand. And that's the model we want to create, and that culture we want to have, a place where people can come to our little hub in Bayswater, feel accepted, loved, have a cup of tea, they can express themselves, non-judgmental. And we've created that, and the clients love it. They come to our little hub.
It's been pretty amazing to hear that story and see that story as well.
Yeah.
For you and Bree. Yeah. The way that God's been underneath that, and the way that He's gifted both of you.
I believe it's His business. It's not my business. And just this. I won't talk about that yet. Yeah, stepping out yet, but
that's okay.
It's been amazing just watching God's hand. The right people have turned up. We haven't really had to advertise a lot. The right people have just popped in and become a part of the team. And it's been amazing. Really cool.
In that season, lots of things are happening. It's growing from all I can tell, and what God's doing both in different ways. And then I'm trying to remember how long ago. You were feeling a bit unwell?
Yeah, so October the 30th last year, 2024. I had a stroke. I was just outside and I was lighting up the barbecue. I was going to cook some burgers.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe God was telling me no more burgers. No. But no. I sort of froze and I felt my left arm go a bit numb and I felt like I was going to be sick. And I managed to get inside and just throw up. I was having a stroke. I didn't realize at the time,
Wow.
but Bree was home and she's an ex-paramedic. She did paramedic work in New Zealand. So she was able to figure out what was going on and we called an ambulance straight away after quickly talking to her brother. Because I thought it was just food poisoning. I was just like, I just thought I'd be eating some bad. But yeah, it's we got rushed off to Box Hill Hospital. And I was on the acute stroke ward for 6 days. And they were trying to work out why I'd had the stroke. And I wanted them to get try and find the answer. Well, blood tests wasn't showing up anything. Heart wasn't showing up anything. And it caused a dissection in the cerebella. Which is to do with your fine motor skills and your balance and coordination and stuff like that. And the doctors put it down to that I had a weak artery from birth. And I sort of didn't buy that. I was just like, it's a bit of a cop-out. I was like, why would it wait 49 years?
Yep.
Hadn't turned 50 yet. Why would it wait 49 years to rear its ugly head?
Yep.
And, so that was a tough time. And for 6 months, I was feeling really yuck and just wasn't getting back to normal. Like my left arm was feeling numb still, and then I was feeling a bit of pain in my liver, and I was like, oh, I need to go and see the doctor. And I thought it was all the medication I was on because I was sick of taking tablets, and I thought I was having a side effect from all the medication. And so the doctor thought it might have been I can't remember but he just wanted to rule it out anyway, and so put me through the
scanner.
Yeah, we had a ultrasound.
Okay.
And wasn't pregnant, so it was good. But had something else growing inside of me. Found out that I had pancreatic cancer.
Mate, I got to tell you.
Look, humor is the only thing that's got me through this.
As long as I can, as long as I've known you, is one of the things that you've got a gift in. So, for those who missed that, perhaps I found out is pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, so the ultrasound showed up some lesions or some dark masses in my liver, and so the doctor there said the next day I need you to go into the CT scanner, and so I went in there, and hats off to the ladies that do the CT scans because they would have seen everything and they can't say a thing and they got to keep their mouths shut.
Wow.
And so I went to a CT scanner on the Tuesday, and then once the results came through, we got called into the doctor's office, and he said, you've got there's pancreatic cancer growing inside your pancreas and spread to your liver, and there's multiple masses in your liver. And so then the next day I went in the CT scanner again to see if it was in my lungs because he wanted to rule that out. And praise God, it wasn't in my lungs. And I said to the girl, she was the same girl that was there the day before. I said,
really?
I said, you've got a great poker face. He goes, I'm sorry, sorry for your diagnosis. And it was, a shock, just burst into tears. And
Can you get us there? Can you think about what were the things that you were saying? Either it's a shock to Bree and you,
shock. It's
as a follower of Jesus.
not the conversation you want to have. It's like, why me?
Definitely.
You're still young.
Yep.
What's going on? Why has it happened? Is there anything we can do to stop it? Slow it down? Just the initial shock.
Yep.
And then we had to wait a whole week over Easter to see the surgeon to see if we could do some surgery, and he basically just straight away said, no, it's too far. Like it's growing real fast and rapid. But it was crazy, because nothing was showing up in my bloods. It's the fact that we had to get these scans done to see. So if you're out there and you're listening to this, make sure you get yourself checked out, because I think guys aren't good at it. Guys are pretty stoic and just sweep things under the carpet. No, it's all good. We'll suck it up and push through. And I've got a pretty good pain threshold, I think. And I was just sort of grinning and bearing it. But I was in discomfort. But so then we saw the surgeon. He said, I'll give you a phone number for an oncologist. I want you to see him straight away. And so we saw the oncologist. He's in Ringwood, but he works out of Box Hill. He's one of the top oncologists around. And he basically told us what we need to do.
Okay.
Like, didn't even said, "You've got choices, but I'm telling you, you do this." And
that was your journey. And
yeah.
did you find your faith was that I would imagine taken a pretty big hit?
Yeah. I suppose, I don't know, just having a biblical worldview. You realize we live in a broken, fallen world. Our bodies aren't doing what they're meant to do. This isn't how God intended it to be. It does. You're fighting your spirit and your flesh are fighting each other. Your flesh is going, I want to fight this. And Membry decided, we don't want to use the word fight. Even, we're not giving up, but fight. The word fight can, really drain you, and it's all in your strength and stuff. And it's like, we don't want that. We want to. The thing we've had over the whole thing was we've had a peace about the whole thing, and we trust God, trust the whole process. We've had the best doctors, and the fact we were able to, we had a little bit of money aside, and friends set up a GoFundMe page, and I was a bit annoyed about that because I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to be begging and blah blah blah. But your pride takes a bit of a hit. But everyone reached out and helped out. It's been amazing. All the rugby boys that I played rugby with, they were so generous, and people doing that has probably saved my life, because I was able to get some, not surgery, but some, started treatment, started chemo, 10 weeks before the public system, even kicked in, before we even got to see them, because we were on a bit of a wait list.
Yep.
We couldn't see them till like the middle of May.
Yep.
It's been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish on anyone, but there are a lot of people out there walking this journey, and Phil from church, he came around and he said he's got a friend that's going through the same thing, and he said he's the complete opposite of you. He's giving up, and it's sad. And I just don't know how people go through this journey without a faith, without hope, without peace.
What are those things that has been hopeful for you? Are they songs? Are they verses?
Yeah, songs, verses. Just my relationship with God's growing more and more, because I just have to rely on Him. My life is in His hands every day as a blessing, and I don't want to sound too preachy in that, but it's
preach, brother.
It's a journey we've walked, and Psalm 139. Just search me, O God, know my heart. Those are the prayers I've been praying. Just like, I don't want anything in me that's not of Him. And it's most of my life I've walked with God. But times we've all done it. We walk, we do our own thing. Pride gets in the way, lust gets in the way, greed gets in the way. Those times you regret, but it's the grace of God that allows you to continue, and that forgiveness and no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. It's just, the devil wants to remind you of your past and all the things you've done, but we need to hold fast to the, to the hope of heaven and seeing Jesus face to face, and I know I'm going to do that, and I'm looking forward to it. But I don't want to leave this planet just yet. It's like we've got so much more to give, and it's like, and the questions that are going through your mind. Why me? I've laid down my life for God for most of pretty much all my life. Sure, I've done my own things. I've walked and done things in the flesh that I shouldn't have done, but God's always been with me every step of the way. He's never left me. He's never forsaken me. And I never wanted to pursue a career. One thing I want to share with people is there's nothing wrong with having a job. Having a job and having a family and a ministry, that's cool. That's good. You can do that. But the world it's all about career. You need a degree, and you need to climb the corporate ladder, and you walk all over people. And I hate that stuff. It's not who I am. And that's probably why I wouldn't do well in the corporate world, because I'd just be a pushover. But some people are good at it, and other people, I just could never do it. But there's nothing wrong with having a job where you can just earn enough money to pay your
Yeah.
mortgage, pay your rent, live comfortably.
Yeah.
But, going through this whole journey of the cancer has made me realize that there's nothing in life that I want more than just, family and friends around me
Mm.
and just good people and just good times, good memories. And, the past couple of months I've had some amazing friends come over and family have come over. My dad was here straight away, and I was blessed to be able to spend with my mum 4 weeks over Christmas time, which was, that was a godsend. And just there's nothing I want or desire. I've had to stop working, I've had to step back, and I've always worked every day of my life. I've never.
That's got to be
not
tricky,
worked.
right?
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying, you've started a business with your wife, and from if you haven't picked it up already, Jason's definitely a go-getter.
Yeah.
And now in this season of life, you have to.
Yeah, I've got to sit back and relax and just do nothing, which I really struggle with.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. It's good, and it's good just being ministered to and having people around, and the church has been amazing. People have provided meals for us, and our Connect group with Scott and Desley and Doug and Carol and all the others, just been a real blessing. They've been so good. They're ringing up every day, checking every day, how you doing? Do you need anything? But that stuff can dry up, and it's not sustainable 24/7. And there's been times in the last few weeks where I've I had to step out of work and had to be taken off the books, and like, I built this thing. This is my business, It's like,
wow,
I created this, I'm the one working in mental health.
Yeah.
But I can see others flourish and grow and expand their giftings and their callings and their talents and their everything that they can offer people. Then so be it. That's great, and that's a good sign of good leadership. If you can turn around and you can see people flourishing and thriving behind you, that's great. That's what you want. I want to leave behind. Not saying I'm going just yet, but I want to leave behind a legacy. And part of me was, do we change the name of the business? Because it's like the New Zealand thing. It's got a bit of a New Zealand identity, but no, I believe we can keep it and still instill those values. And
Is there a song or a psalm or a verse that's been really close to you?
I just this week I was going through the book of James, and I just love James because it's so practical.
Yeah.
But James 4:13-17, says, "Come now, you who say today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is a sin." So I just, it just really spoke to me, just about we don't know when our time's up, and why are we doing this? Are we doing things for the right reasons? What is our heart? What is our motive? What is our reason for doing things? And, I look back at my life and, the ministry that I had with the youth, I can see amazing fruit come out of all those young people. Heaps of them are going on for God now. I've got amazing families doing ministry, started their own youth ministries or leading churches. Just came out of this little town. And, when I took over the youth, I changed our, little motto, our little slogan was just love God, love people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think our faith needs to be simple, It's great having all the theology and knowing scripture inside out and that. And, we need to do that. But if we're not loving people, loving on each other, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just all in vain.
That's such a powerful reminder, man. If you had to apply your own mental health things that you say to people for your own,
definitely.
What are those things? For example, what might be a couple of things that come to mind straight away?
Just making, looking after yourself physically and that, just going out for walks and just like it's so easy to just curl up in a ball and just lay in bed and do nothing. It's like, you want to keep active, you want to keep moving, but your body's exhausted.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to push through.
Mm.
But yeah, it's that and good sleep at night, getting good rest, which I've always prayed for, and God's given me that, which has been great. There's only a couple of nights, I might wake up and struggled to get to sleep in that, or even at the beginning when I got the first the diagnosis, we were waiting to find out, what they could do, what was the journey, what was the plan. We didn't have a plan at the time, but yeah, your mind just went to some dark places.
Sure.
It's just like you're picturing your funeral and who's going to be there and what's going to happen, and it's like, well, one, I'm going to be dead, so I don't even care. But you guys can do whatever you want. But just want to, a celebration of your life, and but I was like, I shouldn't be thinking of this stuff. I'm 50 years old. Why is this stuff popping into my head?
Is that mind game, mindset, right?
Yeah. And regrets and things, but I don't really have any regrets. I could look back at my life and go, I've done everything that I possibly could, and we've traveled, and been blessed to be able to do that. We brought up, just a solo family. Mum struggled to, to put food on the table sometimes, but she made ends meet in that. We didn't have a lot of money. I had a paper run when I was 13. If I wanted rip curl clothes or Billabong, shirt, a t-shirt, I had to buy it myself. Mum didn't have money for that stuff. Yeah. So I think you appreciate, things a lot more when you have to work hard for it yourself. Yeah. When it's handed to you, it's a bit of a, give me, take, more. But also part of our journey too. Sorry, I need to talk about, when we moved over here to Australia a couple of years later in 2011, we got a phone call from email from a family in New Zealand that were they had 2 adopted children, and they were having issues with their family, and they asked if we could help with one of the boys, Micah, who we said yes to, and he came over to Australia, and we wanted to officially adopt him, but we're guardians of him. But it's just the whole process was just crazy. But Micah's a part of our life. We got him when he was 10 years old, and he's a beautiful young man. He's 25 now. He lives up in Swan Hill. He's doing a diesel. He's a diesel mechanic by trade. He's got starting his own little business. He works on all the big combine harvesters and stuff. And we just wanted to love on this kid, and we did that as much as we could. And we knew he was going to come with some baggage and trauma, but we wanted to walk that journey. And when I first read the email, if we could help with this family, I just prayed about it, and I just felt God drop into my spirit. You don't want to get to the end of your life and go, what if I hadn't have done it, or and it was tough. It was a tough time, but I love that kid so much. And for the first time, I don't know, things happen for a reason with this cancer. If I can see some amazing fruit come out of this, which I am, it's people are questioning their own faith. They're questioning their own journey with God. They're questioning their own lives, their own mortality, what their priorities in life. And Micah reached out a few weeks back, and he said on the phone, that I love you, and I love you and Brie. And it was the first time he's ever said that to us. Oh, wow. And it was amazing. I just burst into tears, and I was like, yes, this is good. This is good coming out of this. And he's struggling with the whole journey. Of course. He's not sure how to process everything, but everyone's got to process things in their own time. I'm passionate about mental health, and even, mental health in the church, and that, there's a lot of people struggling in our churches that need help and need support. And if we can get around them and support them as a team, not just one-on-one people, because, mental health can be very draining. And people get very isolated and burnt out because they're trying to help someone and fix someone.
Well, with that in mind, because you're both in this trial, you're lamenting, there's joy, there's lots of things going on. The Bible paints that picture in real life. You're experiencing it. What has been of benefit and helpful as people are visiting you? Because I'm just thinking about people who might be listening and they've got loved ones who are going through various things, perhaps. what's helpful, what has been helpful, and both as a person who's receiving it, and what is not so helpful. Maybe not, if they're the non-helpful ones, please don't mention names.
No. It's all good. Blacklist people. No. I'm just loving having people pop around.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for half an hour or an hour, whatever. Just to sit and pray and just have a laugh together, just reminisce about some things, just encourage one another. It's been interesting. Yeah, like I had this big influx of, because at first with the diagnosis, everyone thought that's it, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He's not going to be around long, but everyone's amazed at how well I'm doing and kicking along. And I do want to be at church. I'd love to get to church. I miss seeing everyone, miss hugs and, just chatting with people. But just with your chemotherapy, it knocks your immune system. You got to be very careful. So yeah, come and visit if you want to. But just if you've got a cold or something or flu, please don't.
And that's how, that's, even though it sounds like it's a real practical thing, because I think sometimes we might not assume, it's just a sniffle. But for those who are going through chemo or pretty heavy autoimmune things, it is a pretty serious thing. And it's a way of actually caring.
Yeah. And look, come and grab me, take me out for lunch. We'll go and find a good burger joint somewhere. Happy with that.
Up to your standard though.
Yeah. It's got to be good standards. But Adrian he's been, catching up every couple of weeks, which has been great. And he said, I had a friend that had chemo and, everyone they said, you can't see anyone. And so I thought it was the same with you, but he said, you're a bit different. He's it's like, no, I'm happy to get out. I want to get out of these four walls and just go for a walk around a park somewhere or go and have some lunch or, so yeah, if people got time, that's cool. I'm happy to do that. And different, all our Connect groups have been amazing, but then other people in the church have just popped in as well.
Caring for people by loving them, by presence, being there, sitting around with them, laughing, crying, doing something.
Yep.
What has not been helpful from what's?
I suppose people just need to realize you can get pretty tired pretty easily because your energy levels get a bit sapped.
Yes.
Sorry, my brain's a bit.
No, I can tell. That's okay.
But it's just saying okay, cool. I can see that he's a bit tired. We'll pull the pin on it and come back another day or whatever.
Let you fall asleep. And watch movies on Netflix.
But I love sport. If anyone wants to come watch a game of rugby or watch a Storm play or whatever. And Scott's been great with that. Scott,
the Melbourneians. It's an under game that they play. It's really weird.
Rugby. It was 90,000 people at the MCG on Saturday night with the Wallabies playing the Lions, and the Wallabies lost.
Oh, you like saying that, don't you?
Yeah, no, I actually want Wallabies to do well. I want Australian rugby to do really well because it's good. It's good for world rugby.
Okay, there you go.
Can't be losing all the time.
Brother, I know because like you mentioned about energy levels, I don't want to.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Is there any last things that you want to leave with people as you reflect on this season that you're in for you and for Bree? Yeah,
I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to the church. Thank you to all the support, and the generosity. There's been some amazing people that have been so generous in the church, which is great. And it's easy to sit back and criticize and go, where are the people? Where's the church? No one's visiting me, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to do that. I know that God's with me. It's like Elijah, when he was on the mountain, the storm came, the thunder, everything, but it was in the silence. That's where he met with God. And, sometimes God wants you in the silence to pull everything back. And but it's about, prioritizing things in your life. What's important? If money's your priority, please change that because it brings you nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
You can't take it with you. It's good to have, but it's not the be all and end all in life. But family, friends, leaving that legacy behind, and I'm. It's been hard. Me and Bree have struggled. We haven't had our own family. We haven't had, been able to have kids. Bree's got a condition that doesn't allow her to have children, and it's been hard. And we've trusted God through the whole process. But we know that we wouldn't have been able to take on Micah if we had probably our own kids and stuff. God's plan was perfect, and he knew that we needed to have that space in our lives to bring this little kid into our lives and just love on him. And, it's, be the best dad you can be the best husband you can be, but do it in God's strength. Don't do it in your own strength because you will fail.
Yeah.
And, just having good family, friends around, good memories. Just your walk with God's the most important thing. The one thing that is, should be number one in your life. And I'm trying to think of anything else. But just even building, just trusting God in the whole process. Like my whole life I've trusted God. Things have fallen into place. Like I didn't intend to get into mental health. I just started youth ministry, and then I started youth mental health, and then thought, hey, mental health's quite cool. And then worked on a forensic psych ward for 5 years with the criminally insane, which was, that was very interesting. It's awesome.
Like it's a whole new podcast.
Whole new podcast right there. Some stories I could tell you. But look, even with churches, because the majority of people listening to this is probably going to be Christians, just be very careful with mental health and spirituality, and not everything's a demon or everything needs to be cast out of somebody. I despise that stuff. It makes me angry because I've seen so much damage. I've got a young lady that we used to. Well, she's part of on our books, and she won't go to church now because people have damaged her and tried to cast things out of her and stuff. And she's just, her brain's been wired very differently. And definitely, there is a spiritual element to things. I will not deny that. But not everything is. And people's brains can just be wired up. Just have a bit of a glitch and stuff, and medication does help and it does support people, but it's not the be all and end all. So you have to have an open mind with the whole thing. But I just think the church has got it wrong sometimes in mental health, and and people avoid people with mental health issues because they're too hard basket. They don't really contribute to society, to the church, and we're called to love those people. The Book of James talks about that in James 3. It's like we're called to love on those people and be there for them. And that's we're not doing it, then we're not being the body.
Wow. One of the things that I've always observed in every season for you and Bree is your outward facing focus, and I see it over and over again. And even in this season, I think it's been a real privilege to see even your testimonies through conversations we've had and with conversations with Bree about how God is using this very hard trial to basically glorify Him, but also to draw people to Him, both who are followers of Christ and those who don't know Jesus. And it's been So thanks.
Thank you for having me. It's hope I'm being able to encourage people, and that's all I've wanted to do. I've always been an encourager growing up. But I think as we get older in our Christian walk, it can become a bit cynical, a bit hard, and some of those gifts can sort of get pushed to the wayside. And I remember as young person, my early 20s and stuff, I'd write cards and letters to people, just encouraging them. I'm like, I haven't done that for years, and that's obviously a gifting that God gave me. So I encourage people to use their gifts as much as possible, and be open to the Holy Spirit to speak to you and to guide you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen, brother. Love you.
Love you too.
So thank you. Love to Bree and Mike. If you listen to this, we love you too, mate. I know I haven't met.
And
you
I do want to get. My heart is to get back worshiping. I'd love to get myself well enough to get back up and leading the congregation and worship. That's my heart. I always just love seeing people lifting their hands. Not that we do that much in church. But I'll force it. They can do it just
Come
for
on,
me.
Man. We're getting there.
I
might
clapping.
Halfway is still a raise.
So look, that's my heart. I'd love to get back just doing music with everyone, and
we miss
just
that,
love worshiping Jesus and just bring glory to Him.
Well, bless you, bro, and thanks, friends, for joining us. And in regards to this is the disclaimer thing that I have to put in any podcast. Any comments regarding mental health, any comments regarding medical things that Jace has shared, it's his story and his experience. Please don't take that as professional advice. We'd encourage you to go see a professional medical practitioner and others to be able to get those kind of things sorted out. But
Definitely.
yeah, thanks for joining us. God bless.
Thank you.